In 1893, a quiet Englishman sat down to write 11 short chapters that would outlast empires. His name was James Allen, and his idea was almost offensively simple. The thoughts you return to day after day are not a reflection of your life. They are the cause of it. Allen believed that circumstance does not make the man. It reveals him. The mind is a garden, and it will grow whatever seeds you allow into it. Weeds or flowers, by your own design or by your own neglect. This is not a comfortable idea. It removes the excuse of bad luck. It removes the comfort of blame. But it replaces them with something far more valuable: control. If your thoughts built the life you are standing in today, then different thoughts, held with the same patience, can build a different one tomorrow. That is where we begin. You did not end up where you are by accident. Not the failures, not the successes, not the job you settled for, the relationship you stayed in too long, or the life that somehow looks nothing like the one you imagined at 20. Most people believe their circumstances were handed to them. A teacher once wrote something far harder to accept and far more useful. Your circumstances were not handed to you. They were grown. From seeds you planted yourself, one thought at a time, for years, without ever noticing you were planting anything at all. His name was James Allen, and in 1903, in 11 short chapters, he wrote one of the most quietly radical ideas in the history of self-improvement. Allen was not a wealthy man, and he never claimed to be a guru. He worked as a private secretary in London, grew disillusioned with corporate ambition, and eventually withdrew to a small cottage in the English countryside to write and garden, literally, with his hands in the soil, for the rest of his short life. He died at 47, largely unknown. The book he left behind, a slim volume now called As a Man Thinketh, would go on to influence nearly every major figure in the personal development movement that followed, including the man many people credit as the founder of that movement, who openly drew from Allen's ideas a generation later. But Allen said it first, and in many ways said it better, because he didn't dress it up as a formula for getting rich. He framed it as something closer to a law of nature. Here is the idea, stripped down to its root. Your mind is not a passive container. It is active soil. And every single thought you allow to take hold in it, every grievance you rehearse, every fear you feed, every belief about what you deserve or don't, is a seed. Left untended, that soil does not stay empty. It furrows itself, with whatever falls into it, mostly weeds, because weeds require no cultivation at all. They grow from neglect. A flower, on the other hand, requires intention. It requires you to notice what's growing, decide what belongs and pull out what doesn't, repeatedly, patiently, long before you ever see the bloom. This is why two people can face the identical setback, the same layoff, the same loss, the same diagnosis, and walk away with completely different lives. Not because one was luckier, because one had been quietly gardening for years, and the other had been letting the weeds take over without ever looking down. The second idea is the one people resist the hardest, because it removes the easiest excuse available to all of us. Allen argued that circumstances do not make a person. They reveal them. Pressure doesn't install character. It exposes whatever character was already quietly under construction. The person who explodes under stress wasn't calm before and ruined by the situation. The tension was already there, just unprovoked. The situation only turned the light on. This is not the same as saying bad things don't happen to good people, or that suffering is always deserved. It isn't, and it's not. What Allen is pointing at is narrower and more useful. Your response, the thing that actually determines what happens next, was being built long before the crisis arrived. In the small, boring, invisible moments. The way you talk to yourself after a minor failure. The thoughts you reached for when no one was watching. Those moments are the actual gardening. The crisis is just the harvest. So what does a person actually do with this? Not affirmations recited without belief. Allen was specific about this, and it's the part most modern versions of this idea quietly drop. You cannot out-talk a thought you don't examine. The work is not positivity. The work is attention. Start smaller than you think you need to. Once a day, catch one thought you've been rehearsing on autopilot, a resentment, a self-doubt, a story about who you are or what you can't do, and just notice it. Don't fight it yet. Just notice that you planted it and that it's been growing without your permission. That single act of noticing is the first weed pulled. It feels like almost nothing. Alan would tell you that's exactly what gardening looks like, every single day for years before anyone else can see the difference. You will not fix your whole mental garden today. No one does. Alan himself spent his life tending his in a small cottage, mostly unrecognized, and never once claimed to have finished the work. But you can pull one weed, today, just one thought, noticed and not fed. Do that tomorrow too, and the day after. That's not a metaphor for self-improvement. According to the man who wrote the book on it, it's the only kind there's ever been. If this kind of thinking is useful to you, there's a great deal more where Alan left off, and a few thinkers after him who took the same soil and grew something even further. Subscribe, and we'll keep walking the path together.